If you're looking to find properties that all the other buyers won't be able to find, I'm going to show you guys in this video how to find off-market properties. All right. So off-market properties are properties that's off-market. Okay. They're not on the MLS. This also means that the competition will not know about it. All right. Or the chances are less likely that they're either going to do the work to find them or that they're not being sent these properties anyway. Okay. So now when you're looking for an off-market property, let's say, for example, you're open to a FSBO. So a FSBO, that's the first easiest type. That's going to be FSBO. That stands for sale by owner. Okay. For sale by owners are essentially people that want to sell the properties without having a listing agent. You have two different types of agents. You have buyer's agents and then you have listing agents. The listing agents represent the sellers. The buyer's agents represent the buyers. Now they can represent both. Okay. But that's for another video. Either way, the selling side wants to save money by only paying one agent, preferably the agent that brings you. Now, if you find the home on your own, they're more than likely going to try to tell you, hey, you don't need an agent. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a real estate agent. However, if you don't, then of course the paperwork's going to be difficult. The negotiation, you don't have anyone looking out for your side. You don't have any recommendations. You don't have anyone to, confirm things with. So there's a lot that you can that agents do. I can go down the entire list. It's not just about the money. Like, for example, would you rather do your taxes or would you rather have an accountant? Would you rather do open heart surgery or would you rather go to a doctor? Would you rather cut your hair? Or would you rather go to a barber? Right? And so when you go to the professional looks out for you and the professional knows what to actually prepare for. Okay. So that's one way of looking at it. Another thing to understand, if you're doing this with a for sale by owner, okay, then that simply means that now as you're working with this for sale by owner, now there's two ways to find for sale by owner deals. One is to go to FSBO.com. That's F as in Frank, S as in Sam, B as in Bob, O as in Oscar. Okay. So that's FSBO.com. All right. And so you'll be able to see all the inventory there in which that are being sold by sellers. Okay. Now, the reason why these properties are not in front of everybody is because if you list them on the MLS, there's a fee. There are some places that sellers can do this with, but a lot of sellers don't always do all the research a lot of times. And so there's a lot of properties that's just simply scattered. Okay. And so either way, so FSBOs are going to be the properties that you can most definitely look for sure. All right. You can also go to Zillow.com. Zillow is one of the few places as well too where where sellers can pay Zillow directly to actually have the properties listed directly on Zillow. Okay. And then you can actually see where it says for sellers. Okay. Now, if it says listings by agents, then it's going to show you all the properties that are listed by agents. Okay. But if you go on Zillow and you'll actually see where it says when you're searching, you just change that box to for by sellers. Okay. And then once you do that, you'll be able to see all the properties that are on Zillow that are for sale by owners. Why is that important? When these properties are on FSBO.com or on Zillow seller section, in short, that just means that everyone else will not get notified and no one else can, they can see that inventory, but they have to do it the way that you just did it. Versus if they work with a real estate agent, which most buyers do, they turn on a search and then they only get notified of that search. Now, outside of that search, you're more than welcome to search your own properties, okay? And that brings me to my next point. So you have FSBO.com, which is FSBO.com. You have Zillow, the seller section. Those are other for sale by owners that they just pay Zillow to have it there. Okay. And then you also have other sites. Now let's go into this. Zillow also shows auction property. You can also find what type of auction properties are actually happening near you. And so when you're doing the auction properties that are near you, you have to be careful though. With properties that are auctions, those are usually going to want to be cash. Okay. I'm not saying that you cannot get a loan for them. It's just that most of the auctions will not allow people to have loans because there's no chance it's going to close within a certain period of time. Versus a person that has cash, if they have cash, then that property is most definitely going to close a lot faster because cash can close in about 14 to 21 days. And especially if they have some of the other factors in place, on site, then a person can easily just buy, what's needed to actually own the property at the auction. So you're competing with people that have cash. Okay. Then you have other websites, like the HUDHomestore.com. Well, I'm sorry, HUDHomestore.gov. That's where you're going to see a lot of other properties that are either, government owned or things of that sort. Okay. So then now, again, the same rule is going to apply there. Now you, because again, the competition just changes when you are looking at those types of properties, because instead of competing with other first-time home buyers, now you're competing with investors, and investors, they got cash, okay? And so when they got cash, they can close a little bit sooner, all right? So another way that you guys can do this is, again, going down the list. We got Fizbo.com. We got Zillow seller section, right? We got the HUD home store. We got the auctions, okay? There's a lot of websites that these properties are on, but then you got to be careful. You got to make sure that things actually match. This is where you still need a real estate agent, okay? Again, just because you're finding off-market properties does not mean that you're replacing your real estate agent. You most definitely want to go ahead and have your real estate agent, simply because you just let them know, hey, I want to also keep me posted if you find off-market properties, okay? And if they can keep you posted when they find off-market properties, then that's essentially going to put you ahead of the market, all right? And so, but you got to be ready, to move on these properties as well, okay? But again, you have to make sure that you're on top of it. And then as long as you're on top of it and your agent's on top of it, then you most definitely could keep finding a lot of these, properties as well. That brings me to number 5, and that's going to be Facebook Marketplace. Now, Facebook Marketplace is actually a very, I won't say unsafe way, but it's kind of sketchy. So, but you got to make sure that everything makes sense. How do you do that? You actually look up the taxes, okay? Look up the address for the property and the taxes for the property, and you'll be able to match at least the name with the address to find out, at least who the owners are, okay? And that's, again, that's the first step. The second step is you don't want to go to a property by yourself, because sometimes people are weird, so, and it'd be random, crazy people online. So you got to make sure that you have those things in place as you are looking for those properties, okay? And again, with Facebook Marketplace, always check to see, if the county information matches what you see online. All right. So again, those are some ways that you can find some off-market properties. You also can start, it all depends on how deep you want to go into this. You can easily go to some investor meetings. There's a lot of people that essentially are wholesalers. Now, if you're not sure what wholesalers are people who essentially they act as real estate agents in a sense. You can't necessarily use one to buy a property, not to represent you, I should say, because that's why they should have, a real estate license if you're looking to have representation. But a wholesaler, these people, they go around looking for sellers that are open to selling their property, and then they get a cut once they sell it. For example, they find someone that wants to sell their property. They own the property, right? Let's say the property is worth $150, okay? And they're willing to sell the property for, $160. And so the wholesaler says, hey, if you want to sell it for $150, if I get $160, can I keep the $10,000? That's like a basic arrangement, okay? A basic assignment, okay? And so either way, saying that to say, that's another way that you could potentially do it, is meeting wholesalers, because a lot of times wholesalers have off-market properties as well. But keep in mind, most wholesalers, they typically have properties that are not retail ready, okay? These are properties that people just want to get rid of. Some that may be, in bad condition, distressed properties, things of that sort. Which brings me to the next one. It's going to be pre-foreclosures. Now, a lot of people don't know that you can actually buy someone's house if they are in pre-foreclosure, okay? So pre-foreclosure simply means that that they have not made a certain amount of payments to the bank, all right? And now the property is in pre-foreclosure. Now, a lot of people that actually own these that live in these pre-foreclosed homes, they don't even know that they could actually sell these properties. And the fact that they could actually sell these properties is amazing, because this actually is a win-win for everybody, because you're able to buy the property. It actually puts them in a good position because they're paying off the property. And then in some cases, people actually have equity. A lot of the people that are in pre-foreclosure right now are people that bought properties at least within the last 2 years, 4 years, 5 years or whatever. And the fact that, that they're behind on their mortgage, that's a good situation for you, because now they have to get out of the property. And it's a good situation for them because, like I said, they can sell the property and they can end up with a check at closing. But then they end up with a check at closing. And so that works out for a lot of the people. So of course, if you like this video, you're most definitely going to love the next one. And we'll most definitely tell you guys how to get access to more of the off-market properties that are around you, as well, because every area is going to be different depending on where you guys live, different price points and things of that sort. And every area is going to have a different level of competition, as well. So that's something to keep, in mind as you're going through the journey as well, too. And that's how you find off-market properties, all right? So, of course, if you like this video, you're most definitely going to love the next one, and I'll see you there.